So this is just a quick little overview of my draft workbook so far. It's not finished. These are just the beginning. This is the design of it to begin with, but I want to refine that as I get more content to it. So this is just how I came to my Swan Valley idea. I've just moved to WA, and these are all the things that are sort of close to me that I would call tourism destinations that I want to explore and I think are worthwhile exploring. Swan Valley is a very well-rounded one, and there's heaps of food and wine, there's beer, there's gin, there's vodka, there's loads of different whiskey distilleries, so much to see, so much to do. The context is basically my demographic is aimed, like the project says, so you're in your mid-20s, you really like food. Personally, I've worked in hospitality my whole life, so I really value good wine, good spirits, interesting food as well. We don't do this often. I rarely see my best mates, so this is a big deal, and we want to cram as much as we can into the 24-hour time period that we usually get together. These are the elements that kind of relate most to me, my demographic, I suppose, if I'm creating this guide for someone like me. This is my little history on the Swan Valley. This is how we want the guide to come across. We want it to be really clear, but also really exciting. So we are putting a lot of thought into the aesthetic value that we have. The images and graphics are going to play a really large role because it'll be mostly advertised on social media to get at our target market. It'll be different to other wine and dine or wine tour guides or trips or tours, in that it's going to be really relaxed, it's going to be really exciting, it's very friendly, it's quite young. The aim of the brochure is still to create awareness and promote local tourism, especially in the pandemic sort of era that we're in right now. But we also communicate that the Swan Valley is full of wide-ranging experiences, and this is the huge amount of things that you are able to do in a day. The target audience, again, mostly people like myself who are really into food and wine and travel. We don't really discriminate. You could do this on a super small budget because most wine tastings are free, etc. Or you could splurge and try that one fancy Chardonnay that was definitely worth paying a fee for because it was that good. I've done a lot of research, and these are the activities. I've got 4 categories I think are worth seeing. This is my visual mood board of the Swan Valley. All these pictures are my own. I went this week to scope it out and do some ground research. It was a lot of fun. And this is the map provided by Swan Valley Tourism. It's really clear and easy to read. The elements principles that are going to lead my design are contrast, value, and alignment. These are the initial fonts that I went looking for when I looked for a young, casual, fun sort of feeling for headings and any significant quotes and decoration graphic wise. This is the exploration for body text and content, all different aligned. This one is my mood board called A Little Lilac Mood, so it's very pastel, very graphical, very solid colors, very pretty. This mood board is inspired by red wine and sunsets. And my third board, and I think it's my favorite, is it's a technical drawing, but it's not, in that we start with technical refined doodles and drawings in the background and very precise graphics, and they're black and white, and then we overlay it with some scribbled on graffiti or marker and casual text, and we want to just create a huge contrast, but so the colors reflect the sort of refined palette and the pastel-y, the lighter colors, and then the pops of color will be just thrown over the top and have a big impact. And I think that'll visually separate this guide from most other guides that I've been researching. This is the introduction for my publication. It's really casual and fun. That's the vibe that I'm going for. How we got to our concept. My favorites are highlighted. This is kind of a brain dump. And this is my favorite little page right now. And these are my 4 favorite topics. Some of them are kind of the same. I think I've kind of merged them all together. The one I'm rolling with at the moment is like the idea of the classy pub crawl. And these are sort of the elements I was thinking I could build the guide around, or what I thought that these concepts would look like in terms of a publication. And this is me playing with the publication. So that was the 24-hour one, like Swiss style, bold shapes, very simple, very clean. In the middle is my like topographic map description. The text will be sprawled over the top, and then the audio wine tour is a whole other aesthetic where it looks like a note.
And then finally, this is just further concept development of my favorite crawl idea, because I couldn't find any fonts or types that I was envisioning.